Welcome to the Royal Calcutta Turf Club for the Calcutta Races Winter Meeting 5th day Thursday 23rd January 2025 race preview. The first race of the afternoon is the Unity Cup for horses rated 21 to 46, rated 1 to 26, eligible to be ridden by jockeys of Indian nationality to be run over a distance of about 2,000 meters. We got 5 runners going to purse for the opening event of the afternoon. The first runner we're looking at is Oremelo, who's by 10th star out of Smoky. 3 starts for Oremelo in this season. Over 1600 meters, finished on 5th. Over 2000 meters in race number 27, finished on 4th. Last start was also over 2000 meters and race number 34 was in 2nd spot for most while. Then weakened in the last 200 meters and eventually finished on 3rd. The winner here was Main Street, who got the race by a length and a half. Oremelo today the mount of Ankush. Number 2 is Aretha. Aretha had 3 starts during the monsoon season, including a win in race number 34. This season had a start in race number 50. The one we are looking at went over 1600 meters. Aretha raced in 9th spot for most while and eventually finished on 9th. Aretha is by Wind Legend out of Wind of Soul, the mount of Kirtish Bhagat. Looking at number 3, Good Deeds. Good Deeds had a couple of starts during the current season in race number 16, finished on 3rd behind Oh My Sweetheart. That one was over 1600 meters in race number 16. Race number 59, the one we are looking at, Good Deeds was slowly out of the gates but was brushed up, was racing in 4th spot as they entered the home straight, but the early exertions took a toll and eventually Good Deeds finished on 6th. The mount of R. Bhaibab is Good Deeds. Veneno, who's had 3 starts in this season, in race number 22 finished on 5th over 1200 meters, race number 50 finished on 5th over 1600 meters. Last start, Veneno was a little slowly out of the gates, raced a little wide throughout, raced in 7th spot as they entered the home straight, eventually finished on 7th, a close-up second, 7th to Sensational. Finally, we got 5, Bansi. Bansi has had 5 starts in this season, including a win that was in race number 48, where Bansi went over 1600 meters. Last start was over 1400 meters, was in 13th spot as Bansi took the inside passage, but all it could do was finished on 6th. The winner was Into the Storm, who had 4.5 lengths to spare over the second place toss. We move on to the second race of the year after the Allender Handicap for horses rated 1 to 26 to be ridden by jockeys of Indian nationality to be run over a distance of about 1200 meters. First runner we are looking at is Amadeus. Amadeus had a start earlier part of the season in race number 62 where finished on 10. Last start Amadeus went over 1400 meters, was in 11th spot for most while but eventually finished on 11th of 14 runners and the winner was Into the Storm. Amadeus today the mount of Arman Khan. Next up, we are looking at a couple of runners. This is from race number 60 where we had Holy Gold and Sunflare. Holy Gold, this was Holy Gold's third start, unplaced in all 3 starts in the first part of the season. In race number 42 finished on 10th, race number 48 finished on 7th, and Holy Gold, after taking the turn in last spot, finished on last over here of 7 runners. Number 6, Sunflare, who also had 4 starts in the season. A better start was in race number 54 where Sunflare finished on 3rd in a field of 13 runners over 1200 meters. Over here, Sunflare was slow out of the gates and eventually finished on 6th. Next up, we got number 3, Tortilla Chip. Tortilla Chip has come down from Hyderabad, has a start in race number 62 where was taken over 1100 meters and was in 7th spot as they entered the home straight. Made up a placing and eventually finished on 6th of 11 runners. The winner here was Matangi and Tortilla Chip today the mount of Sonu Mishra. Number 4 is Bandukwali. Bandukwali is running after a big gap, had a couple of stars during the monsoon season. In the early part of the season in race number 3 she finished on 5th. Race number 33 she finished on 4th after travelling in 8th spot and made some late gains and got into the frame and finished on 4th behind Champagne Supernova. Bandukwali today the mount of Imran Chisti. Couple of runners in time, which was earlier known as Stitch in Time, and we had number 7 is Intense Belief. The runs we are looking at is from race number 54, which was in Time's third start of the season. Earlier start finished on 4th in race number 21, then an unplaced effort in race number 36. Over here, In Time was the favourite, took the turn in 4th spot, but then weakened and eventually finished on 8th. And Intense Belief, this was the first start for Intense Belief in the season, was traveling in 8th spot, made some late gains and finished on 5th of 13 runners. The winner here was Impressive Annie. 8 is Palcha. Palcha has had 5 stars in the season, placed effort in race number 19 and a 4th place effort in race number 13. Since then has had 3 unplaced effort, including the run we are looking at where Palcha was slow out of the gates, took the turn in 13th spot, made some late gains as you can see in the top 3 in the wide outside, and then finished on 7th of 14 runners. The winner here was Indian Jack. Number 9 is Kikata. Kikata has had 4 stars in the season, unplaced in all 4 stars. The run we are looking at is from race number 48. This was the 3rd start in a row where Kikata was slow out of the gates. Kikata took the turn in 5th spot, stayed on in 5th and finished on 5th of 7 runners. The winner here was Bansi. We move on to the third race of the afternoon, the Colombiana Plate for horses 3-year-old only, to be run over a distance of 1100 meters. We got one runner which has got experience, the rest of the 4 are running here on debut. So we'll look at Abhikandra. This is the start from race number 66 where Abhikandra was racing in 2nd spot for most while, but into the last 200 meters was challenged by the 2nd place horse, eventually just missed out by a nose and finished on 3rd. And Abhikandra today the mount of P. Trevor. Sipian ridden by Kirtij Bhagat, Kitaro ridden by Imran Chisti, Simran Star by Vinay Jaswal and Zalia by Yash Naidu. We move on to the 4th race of the afternoon, the Eastern Air Command Cup for horses rate 40 on the 66 rate 21 to 46, eligible to be run over a distance of about 1600 meters. First runner we are looking at Zuma. Zuma had 3 stars during the monsoon season. First start, what an eye-catching start that was. She got the measure of Lady Sunshine, who has subsequently finished on 2nd in the Calcutta Derby. Then in race number 58, she finished on 2nd to Wonderful. And then in the last start, Zuma went to 1400 meters, was in 8th spot for most while, but then seen finishing on, eventually finished on 5th of 13 runners. The winner here was Salame. Kanya Rashi, True Faith, both runners who have come down from other centres. Kanya Rashi came down and ran a cracking race in race number 50, got the measure of Italian gold. Then in race number 64, the one we are looking at, Kanya Rashi ran in 6th spot for most while, made some late gains, eventually finished on 4th. True Faith, who's had quite a few starts in Calcutta, in race number 31 finished on 3rd, in race number 64 again finished on 3rd. The winner here was Sativor. Number 4 is Into the Storm. Into the Storm has had 3 stars in the season. Started the season with a 2nd placed effort behind Eagles Flight over 1100 meters. Then finished on 4th in race number 59 over 1400 meters. Last start, Into the Storm was fancied very strongly and then turned for home and took charge. And there was no looking back. Beat the field by almost 4 1/4 lengths. Number 5 is Loris, who's had 5 starts in the season. Loris has been unplaced in all 5 starts. Last start was in race number 68, where Loris was travelling in 7th spot, made some late gains, eventually just missed out the board and finished on 5th of 8 runners. The winner here was Sky Force. Loris, the mount of R. Manish. Number 6 is Jazara, was the winner in race number 27 and over 2000 meters. Last start, Jazara took on Champagne Supernova and just came out 2nd best, finished on 2nd by almost 6 lengths. Jazara today the mount of A. Asha Dasbar, drawn 7. Number 7, Italian Gold. What a start to the season for Italian Gold in race number 36. Absolutely blew the field away. Then in race number 50, Italian Gold was caught in traffic for most while, but then started to make late inroads and eventually got into second spot behind Kanna Rashi, who had stolen a march. And Italian Gold staved off the late challenges and finished on second. Number 8 is Malaki. Malaki has had a couple of starts after coming down from Western India in race number 35. Finished on 9. And race number 59 was a little slowly out of the gates. Took the turn in 9th spot. Then started to make late gains towards the inside. Took the inside passage and got into the place money. Finished on 3rd of 14 runners. The winner here was Only Dreams. We move on to the 5th race of the afternoon, the Indian Air Force Cup for horses race 61 to 86 rate, 41 to 66 eligible to be run over a distance of about 1400 meters. The first runner we're looking at is True Marshall, who's had 4 starts in this season. Start in race number 29 where True Marshall finished on 4th, and a couple of unplaced efforts including the start we are looking at where True Marshall was racing in 4th spot, then weakened and eventually finished on 6th of 9 runners. The winner here was Outlander. True Marshall today the mount of Ashad Ashbar once again. Number 2 is Australia. Knight's Tour out of Sunflower. What a debut for Australia on the Calcutta track after coming down from Hyderabad and won the race by beating all-time legend. But last start Australia was travelling in 11th spot, then made up a placing and eventually finished on 10th of 12 runners. The winner was Divine Thoughts, Australia, the mount of Nikhil Naidu today. Number 3 is Dubai Princess. Dubai Princess has already picked up 2 wins. In race number 10, she got the measure of Golden Light, then finished on 2nd in the 1000 guineas behind Trahila, and then next start was in race number 51 where Dubai Princess went on a start to finish mission under very heavy underfoot conditions and soft going. Dubai Princess won the race on a start to finish mission, eventually had 2 1/4 lengths to spare. Dubai Princess today the mount of Pete Trevor. 3 runners, Dali Swirl, Raffaello and Dr. Doom. We have also Winter Agenda and Mighty Zoo. Dali Swirl has had a few starts in this season, has been knocking on the doors, has finished on 2nd couple of times and couple of 4th place effort, including this start. We had number 6 was Raffaello, who was winner in last start, where Raffaello was in 5th spot, then came up with a blistering run down the center and eventually had a length and a half to spare. Dr. Doom, who's had 5 starts, has been placing in a couple of starts out of them in this race, finished on 3rd. And we had number 8 was Winter Agenda, who was a winner in race number 31. Over here, Winter Agenda finished on 5th, and Mighty Zoo was at 3 starts and placed in all 3 starts. 5 is Galacticus, who's had a couple of starts. This is from the monsoon season, and Galacticus earlier start finished on 2nd behind Merope. Then in race number 56, Galacticus was racing in 3rd spot for most while, then came up and finished on 2nd. Galacticus is the mount of Sonu Mishra, who claims 4 kilos off. We move on to the 6th race in today's card, the Indian Champion Cup Grade 1 for horses 4-year-old and over, to be run over a distance of about 2000 meters. The only other Grade 1 run in Calcutta. The first 3 runners we are looking at is our Star is Born, Chopin and 5 3rd Avenue. A Star is Born was in 5th spot, came up with a run and was a bit too far. Merope had a sizable lead and A Star is Born finished on 2nd. Chopin was a winner in earlier start in race number 24 over here. Chopin was in 2nd spot for most while when asked for an effort, started to drop back, eventually finished on last of 5 runners. 3rd Avenue, who was racing in 3rd spot, came between runners and just got into 2nd spot behind Merope. 3 is Diff. Diff has been a real performer, traveling all over the country. Last start, Diff was in Bombay. This was in race number 49 there, over 1800 meters. Geographic, under the guidance of Neeraj Rawal, had a useful lead, but Diff did the next best thing, finished on 2nd in a field which consisted Juliet, Diff, the mount of Pete Trevor today. 4 Ramiel, 6 Travailiers. They ran in the same race. Ramiel, who was, as the jockey said, was put to sleep in the early part of the race, and when woken up was really moving like an angel and came up and breezed past everybody. Travailiers had a similar story, but perhaps a little bit of traffic for Travailiers, but nonetheless came out and finished on second. That's the field for the Indian Champion Cup Grade 1 2025. We move on to the 7th race in today's card, the Parisian Handicap Division 1 for horses grade 21 to 46, grade 1 to 26, eligible to be run by over a distance of about 1200 meters, to be ridden by jockeys of Indian nationality. First one we're looking at is Fresh Hope, who's had 4 starts in the season. Started the season with a win in race number 14, then a 3rd place effort in race number 21. Then a 8th place effort in race number 46. In this start, the one we are looking at is in race number 73. Went over 1100 meters, was in 10th spot, made some lead gains on the wide outside and eventually finished on 6th. The winner here was Levan. 3 runners we are looking at: Trebia, Sabar and Fulcrum. Trebia, who's been winner of couple of starts in race number 26 and race number 41 respectively. Over here, Trebia was travelling in 5th spot, then came up towards the inside and finished on 4th. Sabar, who's had a couple of starts after coming down from Western India in earlier start, finished on 3rd behind Trebia. Over here, Sabar finished on 4th. Number 7 is Fulcrum, who's had a couple of starts, unplaced in 2 starts, and race number 42 finished on 7th. Over here, finished on 8th. The winner was Eagle's Flight. Number 4 is King Roger. King Roger has had a start in the season, but that was on the mountain track. That was in race number 6, where King Roger was in a very prominent position until the last 100 meters, where there was a blade surge by Saranaika, and King Roger did the next best thing, finished on 2nd. Today the mount of Kirtish Bhagat is King Roger. Number 5, Impressive Annie. What an impressive start this was for Impressive Annie in race number 54, where she was travelling in 2nd spot. When asked for an effort by Arbhabab, she started to move with raking stride and eventually had 5.5 lengths to spare. In 2nd spot there was Happy Morning. Impressive Annie, again the mount of Arbhabab. Number 6 is Line Up and Collect, was winner in race number 13 after finishing on 2nd in an earlier start. The start we are looking at is race number 35, where Line Up and Collect was racing in 5th spot, as you can see in the white and black jacket, eventually finished on 4th. The winner was Mark Ulini in a clustered finish. Line Up and Collect today the mount of Arman Khan. 8 is Dancing Queen, 10 is Dance Along. The start we are looking at from race number 72, where Dancing Queen was racing in 10th spot for most while, as you can see in the green and orange hoops. Dance Along, who's in the white and blue, has had 3 starts in the season, was in 2nd spot until the last 250 meters, where started to slide back through the field, eventually finished on 11th of 14 runners. The winner was Sensational. Number 9 is Jean Lafette. The start is from race number 62, where Jean Lafette was very slow into stride, took the turn in 10th spot, made up a placing and eventually finished on 9th of 11 runners. The winner here was Matangi. Finally, we got 11 UV, who started the season with a placed effort in race number 14, which was UV's 2nd start. Since then has been on the decline. Race number 41 finished on 5th, race number 61 finished on 12th. Last start was slowly out of the gates, was in 7th spot as they entered the home straight, then dropped back, eventually finished on 10th of 14 runners. The winner here was Into the Storm. We move on to the 8th and last race of the day, the Parisian Handicap Division 2 for horses grade 21 to 46, grade 1 to 26, eligible to be run over a distance of about 1200 meters. The runner we are looking at is first up is number 1, Tropical Lady, who's had a start. This was in race number 35, where Tropical Lady was slow out of the gates, was in 10th spot as they entered the home straight, then dropped back and finished on 11th of 14 runners. The winner was Marcolini. Couple of runners, Kindred Spirit, Amalfi Tana. This is from race number 36. Kindred Spirit has had 4 starts, all 4 unplaced. And over here, Kindred Spirit took the turn in front but then dropped back very rapidly, eventually finished on 13th. Number 8, Amalfi Tana, who's had 3 starts. A better start was in race number 22, where finished on 2nd to Marcolini. That was in race number 22. Over here, Amalfi Tana took the turn in 6th spot, then made some lead gains down the center and eventually finished on 4th of 14 runners. The winner was Italian Gold. Three is Asagiri. Asagiri came down from southern India. The start we are looking at is from race number 61, where Asagiri took the turn in 6th spot, then when asked for an effort, dropped back a placing and eventually finished on 7th. And during the race, Asagiri did have a very rough passage. I met with some interference. Asagiri today the mount of Nikhil Naidu. Couple of runners again, Rhapsody in Green and Sporting Trainer. This is from race number 72, where Rhapsody in Green was a little slowly out of the gates. Took the turn in 11th spot, made some late gains and eventually finished on 8th of 14 runners. And number 10, which is Sporting Trainer. This was Sporting Trainer's 5th start of the season. A better start was in race number 32, where Sporting Trainer finished on 2nd. Over here, she finished on 9th. Number 5 is Sea Salt Caramel. Sea Salt Caramel has had a few starts in the monsoon season. This is the first start Sea Salt Caramel had in the current season. That was in race number 9. Took the turn in 6th spot when asked for an effort. Did not have much to offer. Finished in a clustered finish but finished on 6th of 12 runners. The winner was Sky Force. Number 6 is Dubai Prince. Dubai Prince has had a start after having one start in the monsoon season. This start was in race number 62 in the current season, where Dubai Prince travelled in 8th spot for most while, then took the inside passage and made up a placing and eventually finished on 7th of 11 runners. The winner was Matangi and Dubai Prince the mount of Shahzad Khan. Number 9 is Fortune Warrior, the final runner we are looking at. Fortune Warrior has had 3 stars. The best start was last start, where Fortune Warrior was racing in 2nd spot as they entered the home straight, then was seen covering ground but finished on 2nd to Banksy and Fortune Warrior today the mount of Arman Khan. Thank you ladies and gentlemen for watching. See you at the races and good luck.